Hey, it's Screw the System Joe and I'm back with another new video. This time I'm going to explain to you why being an unreasonable bastard is one of the most important character traits for anyone aspiring to greatness. To do this, I'm going to use one of my favourite quotes of all time. It's from George Bernard Shaw, the Irish playwright, and it goes like this. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable man adapts the world to himself. That's why all progress is made by the unreasonable man. Now, if you've ever felt like you didn't fit in or you've struggled to find your place in the world, then this quote goes a long way to explaining your situation. Furthermore, it gives a brand new, uplifting meaning to your life. So I'm going to break it down line for line and explain exactly what I mean. So the first line reads, the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. So I guess the first question is, what is a reasonable person? Well, my definition of a reasonable person is someone who accepts the world as it's presented to them. They never stop to question why the world is the way that it is, or whether it's wrong or right. They just do their best to fit in and get by. And after all, this is a pretty reasonable attitude to take, isn't it? I mean, who am I, this tiny, insignificant individual, to challenge and question this huge world all around me, which has been here thousands of years before I came along? Do I think I'm special? No, I'm nothing special. I'm just going to do what everybody else does and use my talents and abilities to fit in the best I can and get by. This doesn't mean that I'm happy. It just means I recognize the futility of challenging a world which is much more powerful than me. Now, the unreasonable person has a completely different outlook. They can't stand this world they've been born into. They can see everything about it that's wrong and everything that needs improving. And they're an uncommon breed, these unreasonable people. They've got the gall, the brazen bastard effrontery to think that this world with its complex and ever so intelligent system should change to that match their wishes. And that's what they set about doing. If they don't like the careers out there on offer, then they'll create their own. If they don't like society's standards of behaviour, they'll do what they want to do. And if they want to do something with their life, they won't listen to the people who tell them it's impossible. And you know what? They're right to do so. And they're right to do so because of line number 3, where GBS reminds us that all progress is made by unreasonable people. So we really need these unreasonable bastards, because without them there's no progress and there's no change. Think about it. Back in the 17th century, it was a reasonable assumption to think that the sun moved around the earth, until that unreasonable son of a bitch Galileo came along, providing evidence to show it was the other way around. Or how about America in the 1950s, where it was reasonable to think that people should be segregated based on the colour of their skin? That was until Martin Luther King and a host of other civil rights heroes, who were completely unreasonable at the time, I might add, came along and said that American society would have to change to match their vision of how it would be. So what's the message here for you? Well, if you're watching this video, then I'm going to assume that you're an unreasonable person. Now, in the past, this may have caused you a lot of conflict and pain. You may have spent your whole life hiding your true feelings, thoughts and opinions and trying to fit into a world that you were never born to fit into. Now, if this is the case, then I'm going to suggest to you that you're missing the point. Remember line 3. If you're an unreasonable person, then you're not here to fit into a world in which you hate. You're here to change it. You could be the next Martin Luther King or Nelson Mandela, or you could be the next Galileo or Darwin. But if you keep hiding from who you really are, then that gift is going to die inside you. So be proud of being an unreasonable bastard and go out there and make the world change.